Addy Soldiers. My face makeup says, I want it to be spring, but the darkness of this frame says, it's still February, bitch. Slow your roll. Look, I was going to film a February wrap-up because I had such big plans to read in February. I bought a ton of books, I was so ready, I had a schedule, and then I just didn't read it at all. So we're filming right now, as it's getting dark, and I haven't read anything. But, like, I work full-time and have depression. Like, what do you want from me? Hashtag just millennial things, am I right? I also had way too many cups of coffee today, so my resting heart rate is telling my body I'm having a panic attack, so that's been fun. I've also been eating way too many of these, but, like, treat yourself. It's a weekend while I'm filming this. Oh yeah, I was calling this a February wrap-up, but, I forgot that I was also gonna film this because I got a new tattoo, as every millennial does when they're going through a quarter-life crisis. I have wanted a floral sleeve for so long, so last weekend I went and got the beginning piece, aka this beautiful thing. I have one giant rose flanked by two small ones and then botanicals along the side. I love this. I think it's so beautiful. I really like how this looks on me and my body. There is no shading because I feel on me, because I'm so pale, it would just overwhelm my arm, especially if I want to get, you know, more up my shoulder. I also wanted to show off my freckles, so you can still see the freckles, especially on my elbow, around the rest of the ink. So I love it so much. So me and my new tattoo are here to talk about all the books that I didn't read in February this evening. Grab a tea, grab a snack, let us get started. This is for you. Woo! First try! So actually the first books I want to mention are three that I did read, but just not in February. However, they have all come out in February, and I've been very lucky to get advance copies, and I think that you all should know about them because they were great. First one I think I've talked about somewhere else, and that is The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper. Considering that I read less than or equal to a contemporary a year, I am very happy to say this was a fantastic contemporary to do so with. This is about an app journalist named Cal who lives in New York City, and when his father gets a job with NASA on their newest mission to Mars, they have to move across the country to the NASA base, and at the same time there's this reality TV show that's filming the astronauts as they go, and there's a bunch of journalistic issues with that. Also, there's like a boy that's real cute that he likes. Cal's and Leon's relationship is the cutest freaking thing I have ever read, and also very realistic. I give mega props to Phil Stamper. This hits hard for all the reasons that are not usually in YA. For example, their relationship started off as an instant love when they see each other and are like, wow, he's really cute. But then they like talk about it, wild, and they're like, hey, I think you're really cute, but like I don't want to get involved with you unless you're serious, so let's just like hold off for a little while and like get to know each other on a personal level. And I'm like, oh my god, wow, so realistic. And there's this really nice undertone that I like is in a teen novel about kind of how your parents are people too. It was really nice to see Cal's father like be excited about his mission to Mars, and Cal kind of seeing his father get excited about something. Like, your parents are people too. They don't just, you know, spontaneously appear out of the ground and are like, we're ready to have a child. So yes, 5 out of 5, new favorite contemporary of the year. Everything I read from now is going to be held up to this standard. Secondly is one that I posted on my blog, blog.com/blog/#blog, that is always linked below so you can see my full review for it, and that is All of the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace, which has been one of the most hyped books of February. Princess Amora is a princess making astute observations, going to inherit a kingdom of islands that all have a different type of magic on each island. Then, when her ceremony goes wrong, we have to team up with a pirate to go find this magical thing, sail across the kingdom and meet mystical magical monsters and vanquish the evil dude, whose name I can't remember, but like I remember him being pretty evil. This book was very fun. I really loved Amora, and just she's a badass. Like, she knows what's gonna get done, and she frickin' does it in like mad respect. I thought the world was just kind of okay. I think I would have liked it if it had been maybe like less islands or less kinds of magic. I'm just kind of over that like sprawling, like you get a kind of magic and you get a kind of magic and you get a kind of magic. Also, wow, does this book have a tone problem. If any of you are squeamish about body horror or blood, this is not the book for you. Oh my lord, they're like cutting hands off, pulling out teeth to use it for magic, and like, oh, I love me some teeth magic, so I was down for like how dark this was. In one of the very first scenes, when the ceremony goes wrong, she like dives too deep into magic and like tortures this guy to death, and I'm like, you know your audience is supposed to be like 14, right? So I, as a 24-year-old lady, very much so enjoyed this, but I think just because it was so dark, the scenes in between didn't quite match, so it felt a little dissonant, but you know what? I still enjoyed it anyway. And last of the three that I finished first that I loved so much, oh my gosh, one of my new favorite books of the year, and that is Ink in the Blood by Kim Smakel. I think that's how you say her last name. I met Kim Smakel at a Raincoast event, and I slightly, gently, kindly bullied her into giving me an advance copy, mostly because I had tattoos. The two main characters, Celia and Anya, are inklings. They're basically tattoo artist apprentices, and they ink onto themselves tattoos that the divine will push onto other people. Which would be real weird, because I like the autonomy of my own body, and that's kind of like a big theme in here, and just like spontaneously seeing a tattoo appear. I mean, if this spontaneously appeared, like, I wouldn't be mad, but like if something else spontaneously appeared, like what if there was like a frog on my leg this next morning? That would be very strange. Anyway, they don't like how it's run, they run away, and they join the rabble mob, aka a magical, twisty carnival circus, traveling circus with a plague doctor. Ooh, oh my gosh, wow, such drama, so mystique, and the lines blur between what is magic and what is real, and what is divine and what isn't, because we do find out that the divine is real. That was a mindfuck. It was great. This book made me want to get more tattoos, so just a warning, if any of you are thinking about it, if you do read this, it will be like a great enabler, and like I'm nothing if not a great enabler, so if you want to get a tattoo, read this book. It'll just help convince you. Now, on two books that I bought and then didn't read. There was a couple of fantastic launch days that happened, and I was like, well, I need all of them, obviously. The first one I picked up actually did not launch now, but one of my favorite authors on Twitter keeps recommending this book, so obviously I had to go buy it because it sounds right up my alley. And that is The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison. Oh shit, Scott Lynch blurbed this? Oh, bitchin'. This is about a half-goblin prince who has been sent into exile by the king, and then the king and all of his other sons die in this mysterious crash, and now suddenly this half-human, half-goblin son inherits the throne and has to meander through all the politics and tricksy fairies of a goblin court. I went to 3 different bookstores for this. I am so excited, and I really hope it lives up to expectations, because like I love me a good under-the-hill fairy court goblin emperor type of story. Something I suppose that's like sort of along the same lines to that is a sequel to a Beauty and the Beast retelling that I loved last year. It was one of my favorites of 2019, which was, wait, A Curse So Dark and Lonely. And that is the sequel, A Heart So Fierce and Broken. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at this cover design, the colors. I really enjoyed A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I thought it was a really good twist on a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I liked the beasts that the prince was. I liked the twist at the end, but I liked it enough to buy the sequel. And that is, I mean, that says something, because sequels on my shelf are in short supply these days. It really takes a lot for me to want to continue a story a whole year later after I've forgotten about it. But I have so many good feelings attached to Curse that I feel like Heart is gonna be great, and I really hope it is. Also, the cashier, when I bought this, like fangirled with me about it, so I know it's gonna be good. Next is one that I'm so excited about, and once you see the cover, I don't understand how you can't be excited, because Fire Horses! Ash Lords by Scott Raintgen. Oh my gosh, rain is in his name, like a horse's reins? Okay. Alright, horse girl, calm down there. This is pitched as a riders and Scorpio races mashup, and as a horse girl who rode for 12 years and never got to ride a fire horse, I am so freaking excited. So there are these beings called phoenix horses, right? And every year, anybody who owns one or can catch one enters them in this world-renowned race. Blah, 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 you win fame and glory, blah, blah, blah. There's a couple of riders that have more to lose than the rest of them, but like, right, I want that. That sounds so good. I have attended many horse races. I really liked Nixia, which was his first book that was more sci-fi, and this is more fantasy. I'm so excited to see what he's going to do with it. Okay, so this next one is one that I didn't actually mean to pick up, but I was walking by it in the store and did one of those like, I'm sorry, what is that? I was so excited to find it because I got Saving Everest by Sky Chase, which is not the kind of book that I would normally choose for myself. However, I remember reading this on Wattpad like 10 years ago, and this is so exciting to see that it's finally a book. If I remember correctly, this is about a very popular jock kind of guy who ends up trying to commit suicide, and the girl of the story is the one that pulls him down from the bridge. And it's this kind of story of like, you never know who someone is going to be based on their appearance, and everybody has issues even if they don't outright say it. I remember having such strong feelings about this when I first read it, so I really hope that they didn't edit too much of it out. Also, I don't know about this cover. Like, it's a nice cover and all, but this guy has a mustache that I am not here for. So, not sure if that was like a mistake on the marketing department or what. Still, I'm excited. I'm ready to have some feelings and some nostalgia and hopefully find a new favorite contemporary. Oh my gosh, am I gonna be reading like 2 contemporaries this year? Wild! And lastly is the book that I am most excited about because it took the longest to get here. Mostly because I couldn't find it in any bookstore, and I waited because I didn't want to buy it on Amazon and become Bezos' bitch. But here I am with Scavenge the Stars by Gerasim because I bought it on Amazon because I couldn't find it anywhere else, okay? I have very strong feelings and I dearly apologize. So this is a gender-swapped retelling of The Count of Monte Cristo. And I've never read the original, so I can't tell you if this is gonna be good or not, but like, it sounds great. Girl who wants revenge against family meets guy who can give her that revenge. Boy whose family is dying goes to seek a healer to help family again. The two meet and it's this high stakes adventure, romance, dueling identity, probably with actual dueling at some point, I sure hope. It's been like 2 years since I heard about this book and I'm very excited to start it, so hopefully March is going to be a better month for reading. Actually, I think it will, because I have a midterm at the end of February, and once that's over, then I'm good. So there you have it. There is a list of books that I did not read in February that I am excited to read, hopefully, in the next month or so, plus a peek at the newest love of my life, aka my newest tattoo. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So stunning. Yes, work. I will also link my artist down below because she was great, has beautiful designs, was very fast, and has a very light hand. So like, probably going to go with her again for the rest of this sleeve, and I can't wait for when that eventually happens. Please leave down below any thoughts on the books that I got. Which one should I read first? I'm thinking Ash Lords, only because I'm so freaking excited for this goddamn fire horse, because I want a fire horse. But maybe, probably Heart So Fierce and Broken. I probably should read a sequel, because it's been a long time. You know where to click to like the video, you know where to click to subscribe. I hope you guys are all having a nice day wherever you are, and I will see you all next week. Bye!